If you're a fan of the Sly Guy Podcast and want just a little bit extra in your week, and maybe a little bit extra in your life, you can head over to patreon.com/Sly Guy Podcast for just loads of extra stuff from me, your Grand Superior Imperial Leader, and our snake rat friend Ben. We've got the bonus Dog Walks with Bebe podcast, the weekly extra Sly Guy podcast, as well as bespoke series such as the Champions League of Weird and the Serial Killing podcast, as well as stand-up clips, stand-up bits and bobs, and just other videos. And Ben has assured me that we're going to do other stuff too, Ben. Yes, we are going to do other stuff as well. So it's going to get in now before the bouncer says fuck away off home. All right. Now enjoy the podcast.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello guys and welcome to the podcast. Before we get too deep into it, let me just address why I sound a little bit like Kermit the Frog. I'm sick, okay? I don't have the coronavirus, just in case anyone's like, he's COVID-ish, which is all, as we all know, COVID in Irish, but as well as that, I've done wee lateral flow tests, and I've discovered that as much as I think and thought I would make a very good gay man, not so much. Turns out I'm not so good at certain things, if you know what I mean. Other things, yes, I still believe this day I'd be tremendous at, but some, unless it's, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not well. So, I just want to say that I hope you appreciate that, and you hope you respect the fact that I've come out to do this. Ben's in the corner in a hazmat suit, not impressed. He's like, if you make me sick, so help me God, I'm just going to not do the podcast next week and stay in bed. But we're here, we're trying to cope, I'm trying to get through it. And for any of that over on Patreon, I really spoke at length about the ins and outs of me getting sick. I also explained why I'm under so much pressure at the minute to try to get better. And long story short, it's my anniversary tomorrow, so you don't want to be bunged up like this, if you know what I mean. If anything, you want to not be bunged up, and you don't want to be full of fluids anywhere. On your anniversary, you want to be fluid free. You want to be 100% dehydrated by the end of the night, if you know what I mean. And at this rate, I'll be lucky to even just go for dinner. So it's looking very likely that I might just spend my anniversary wrapped up in bed, like again, it's Sly always to reference Alexander Litvinenko because the poor motherfucker died. But that's what I'll be like, dying. So I've tried it all. On the way up in the car, I had an absolute shambles. I thought, for whatever reason, I brought this with me, Vic. Do you use Vic?
Pardon?
Do you ever use Vic if you're not well?
Yes.
It's a Vaporub. I don't know what exactly. I think it's a decongestant. I'm not sure exactly. Now, this is one of the downsides about living with a nurse, is that she will correct anything I have wee things that I would refer to as life hacks that I've been doing for years. She just comes along and is like, why are you doing that? I'd be like, what this does is it melts, you take this, it melts all the bogies in your brain, and then it falls out of you like a tap, and then she's like, well, actually, what you're doing is your sinuses are probably swollen and your wee capillaries and all in your nose are, so the more you blow it and there's nothing coming out, you're just damaging inside your brain. And true story, she goes to me, not that you need any more brain damage. And I went, that's offensive. But I thought, you know what, I'll try to clear as much of this out of me as I can before I get to the podcast, because I know how annoying it is to listen to how I talk like this, let alone, sorry Steve Watson, I'm now on the BBC, but I'm very, very, very clogged up. Now, as a way up, I didn't want to put any of this, in my head, all I could think about, and again, happens a lot to me, is former Arsenal Invincibles captain Patrick Vieira. And I think an awful lot about, he used to just slap a big load of vicks, Vaporub on his, just running about with just a big vape pen. No, he used to just slob all this in his shirt, and it just obviously cleared the airways and helped him breathe, which made him such a great footballer, obviously. So he thought. So in the drive up, I was like, I could do that. But then I'm like, I don't want to just do the podcast for anyone watching YouTube, just with what looks like slobber all down me. So instead of that, I thought, listen, what I'll do is I have a bit of a sore nose. So I thought the Vaporub is texture wise is very much like Vaseline. So I just thought, hey, like Vaseline, I'll put it in my nose. And that was the stupidest thing I think I've ever done in my life. I ended up with Vaporub up my nose, really stung the absolute shit out of me. Then for whatever reason, I got it on my hands. I forgot about it. Got it in my eyes. Ended up with Vaporub in my eyes. Tears were streaming me. My nose was running. And all in all, just not clearing anything out of my nose. And the only thing I could think about is why that I did that. Like, why I didn't do it on purpose to want that response. You know, I didn't do that for the feeling that I got. So what I could just think about is the only way I can describe the Vaporub feeling is it's similar to, like, have you ever used mint shower gel? Like, people swear by that, like this tea tree shower gel. It's like it's a brand. You know, I don't know the exact brand, but you know the one that's like this, and this sort of shape. It looks like kind of like a pyramid, I think. But it's what's it called? Natural Source, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Natural or original source.
Original Source. Natural Source is just something else. But Original Source mint shower gel. And some people, like, there's two kinds of people in the world. There are the people who are like, nah, I'll never use that sort of mint shower gel. And then there are freaks. And the people that do actually enjoy it, I don't know what they get off on, because I've used it by accident and it was horrendous. The very first time I bought it, I've made the same damn mistake twice, in fact, in my life. The first time, and again, it's not with shower gels, it's with mint, just general mint. I thought when I bought this that I was betting like a nice lemon. I like a citrus zest around my bollocks. You know, it's a nice fragrance. It makes you wake up. Like, you get in the shower in the morning, you put a bit of this on, you're like, oh, I feel really fresh and ready for the day. Like, I smell like a lemon. I look like a lemon. I'm a lemon. It's great. And I saw this. I was like, oh, it's a nice lime citrus flavour. Just picked it up. Thought nothing of it. Fired it in the shower. Got up some morning. Got it on. First place. I don't know about you, Ben, right? See, whenever you start the shower in the morning, this is just insult. What's the first part of your body you touch?
I normally put it on my chest and then walk into my armpits.
See, that's exactly what I do as well. Can I ask you another personal question?
Please do.
Do you have a bit of chest hair going on?
Not as much as probably you do, but I have some.
Yeah. But see, you look like a hairy man. You've got a good dense head of hair. You've got a big beard.
Thank you.
I would imagine you're quite thick, because what people don't know about me, I have a very thick beard, but my body hair is quite thin and soft all over.
It's completely bald from the
waist down, yeah. Like the chest, yeah, from the waist down, nothing. You know, like upper body's kind of like, I look a wee bit like I guess an overweight ram, but from the legs down, I look like just a turkey that's been hit by a truck. You know, a Christmas turkey that's been run over, just a flat, with like a turkey with a wee giblet in the middle, all bald, just plucked, stinking. But my chest hair, it's like, I mean, it is quite hairy, but it's not dense. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have thought it was as.
It's more than I have, though.
Yeah, well, okay, more than you. But you're a manscaper, though, aren't you?
Not in the chest, no.
No, not in the chest, just in the asshole. But I would do that too. I get it in the hand, get it here, rub it here, and then definitely go to the armpits. So whenever you do that, the armpits are very sensitive. So whenever you put I was like, what's that? But then the natural reaction, where do you go once you've stopped rubbing in the armpits and the...
After the armpits, where do you go?
After your armpits, where do you go? Yeah.
Directly to the bottom.
Directly to the bum. Exactly. Yep. This is absolutely mental, but I think you and I take the exact same shower route, you know. So I think I start off here, go like this, then I go slide down and round and like into the bottom, and then once you finish the bottom, you pull it round and go underneath. Is this correct?
Yeah.
We have the exact same shower body route.
It's like watching a mirror.
Yeah, it's like a mirror image of each other, except if you look at me in the mirror, it's like if you let yourself go 10 years down the line, this is what it'll be. And then, yeah, so that's, I just didn't know that. There you go. Any other listeners, is that the route you take? Body on the chest, under the arms, right through to the bum, and then you spend a bit of time in the bum, because the bum's hairier than you think. You know, you've really, get a lather up there, and then you pull around the front and do the front package, really, and the rest of you, just the water just kind of does, you know. And then you do your hair after that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what we should do, we should have not discussed that. We should have just filmed each other. You should have filmed me having a shower but not watched, and then I should have just set up the camera for you. You should have a shower, not watched. We could have synced it. It's a wee idea maybe for Patreon content. But yeah, interesting. So I do that. The problem is, as soon as you hit there, pardon me, it's going to be like this, guys, I'm sorry. You rub, and then the tingle starts hitting, and it's just cold, like freezing cold across your whole body, this tea tree shower gel. And have you used mint shower gel before? Have you experienced this?
I have.
Yeah.
I have used so the one that's out now isn't quite as strong as it used to be.
What do you mean?
It used to be a lot mintier.
So you mean to say that there used to be even mintier than it is now?
Correct.
And why do you think why do you think it's got less minty?
Because it burns the absolute ballsack off you.
Yeah, but what is the thought behind, like, why do people want that? Are there people out there that like cold balls?
I think the problem was people used it like that, and then it takes a while for the burn to kick in.
Yeah.
And then they were like, probably a wee bit too much here.
Because I remember another thing that I got my balls and dick once that was not pleasant was deep heat. Have you ever had that?
I've had it on my body,
not in your...
and it burns.
Yeah,
but I haven't been that adventurous.
No, I got it. I wasn't being adventurous, unfortunately. Well, no, probably fortunately. If I was being adventurous, I mightn't have a penis anymore. But I had an injury. I'd like pulled my like hamstring, and a physio had put it on. But for whatever reason, he had like massaged up the side of my bollocks. So whenever the balls came down, you know, they touched it. And then I reached down, and he just used a lot, but didn't really want to get in on the rub, I don't think, because it wouldn't be a pleasant area, you know, like the hinge joint, where like if you were to move your box to the sides, like just the wee gap, but it probably smells in there, so you didn't want to get too deep in that, and it was just a very, very, very burning experience. And then I don't know how, for whatever reason, it got in my belly end. I mean, it just did. Whether, I don't know, in the rummagings of rugby, the foreskin retracted and the belly end just stuck to the side of the leg, but it wasn't a nice experience. And to be totally honest, it has put me off getting a Prince Albert. Like, I was very keen to get a Prince Albert because I think it's a very regal look. I think, you know, if you're going to have any sort of body jewellery, you should go all out. Like, I think, you know, wouldn't it be nice, Ben? You're not a pierced guy, are you? You've nothing pierced?
I had my ears done when I was a teenager, but...
And what did you have in them?
Just be like false plugs.
Studs?
Yeah,
nice. I mean, nowadays, like, hoops are coming back if you're in the UDA, like. Yeah, the UDA love a hoop, so they are. They love hoop. You know another thing? Speaking of this, no disrespect to the UDA or the UVF or Lloyd's paramilitaries in general, but why do they always get... The look is like a bald head, hoop earrings, and the false teeth. But why do they not just... You know, I know they go to Turkey and see the lads and get their teeth sorted. Why don't they just get them fitted first? You know, why don't they get them measured and get teeth to fit them? Because all the time we're getting these teeth in, they're all fucking talking like this and all. I think, here mate, you fucking taking me seriously? And you're like, well mate, your teeth, you're like Rylan. Like, what's going on? And like, another thing is a weird, speaking of Turkish and style and teeth, have you seen like hair transplants? I know I'm a guy who... You know, if I was a millionaire, I might consider a hair transplant. Otherwise, I'm just happy to go bald. You know, I'm going bald. I acknowledge it. It is what it is. But if I had the money, would I do it? Yeah, I wouldn't be one that would bankrupt himself to get it. I'm not daffying. But now I've just noticed any hair transplant looks shit. They all look like wigs. What are your thoughts on that?
The worst one is the beard one, because it's too perfect.
But see what they do on all hair transplants. They cut it and then they just do this exact same shape. So everyone has the exact same shape. You're better off just getting a wig.
It's like Phil Foden's hair.
Yeah. It's like Phil Foden's hair but comes back. Like, it's just not a sweet look. Like, remember when Wayne Rooney got it and then he went bald again? So he's just got this really, really pronounced line like a fucking action man and then bald on. It's just rare looking. And then like everyone makes fun of John Travolta for wearing wigs, but that ultimately is what a hair transplant looks like. Like, obviously as a comedian, I would watch a lot of stand-up specials, just, you know, and a comedian I'm a big fan of is Jim Jeffries, but I couldn't watch his last special because he had a hair transplant and it looked really weird. I was like, you know, when you're someone like him, you're like, you don't take yourself too seriously. Then he comes up with this big fucking pompadour. You're like, Jim, what's going on? You know, and I'd be the same. And like another thing people started to do, I used to work with this fella, right? And he was a pretty much a balding guy. You know, he had you could see like the recede, he had the male pattern baldness, the recede here, the thinning up here. It was all good. You know what happens when you get a certain age? Then one day he comes in like a week later with just a full head of hair. Now the only thing was the new head of hair was a different tone to the rest of his hair in his head. So it was very blatant. He had just acquired, you know, the way that you always see these Instagram videos and stuff. You're like, about bald guys getting. Well, maybe this is just targeted advertising. It could very well be, but you have the guy sitting on there like bald, and the barbers come in. They like shave all the top bit, and then you know they trim it up, and then they put the glue on the head, they stick this on, then they cut it in so it all looks like that's obviously advertising. You know, so to the fucking Tom, Dick or Harry in the street, what they are going to get looks just like a full on shit wig, like something you get out of Elliot's at Halloween. And like, it's a very obvious thing, and I know maybe it's great for people's confidence, but I just think sometimes it's a little weird. Don't know, you're like, if you like, you to me look like you're just gonna have like, you'll go grey one day, but it'll just be a big thick head of grey hair you'll have, because you've got very thick hair. Whereas I'm gonna just have to take this baby down to a 1 soon, I think. But
have you not already?
Pardon?
Have you not already? No.
Not on top.
Oh, okay.
What are you trying?
I need to turn this mic off for a minute. Just.
You should turn the mic off, you piece of shit. You're sacked. I'm actually not going to sack you on air again, because remember when that happened to Boytown, you genuinely left. And then the Boytown podcast. In fact, turn the mic on a bit. I want to ask you about this, Ben.
Yes.
What's your... I get a lot of like messages. I say a lot of messages. The odd time people will tag me in something or be like reminiscent to Boytown and how it is. And now, obviously, there's a lot of like local podcasts that are taking place now, like duos and double acts, two people based podcasting. You were the man that brought down basically the original double act podcast. You know, the one the podcast that walked so other podcasts could run.
Yeah.
And do you feel great about that?
I sleep very well at night time. Yeah.
Is it because you hate Shane?
Hate's a very strong word.
That's enough said. But yeah, I just think for me, it's a weird thing, and I know it's like up to everyone's choice. I know some people probably listen and be like, well, if it makes somebody feel good, if they want to get fake hair put in their head, Dave, who the fuck are you to judge? You fucking judgmental bastard. Well, hey, this is my podcast. I can say what I want. All right, so go fuck yourself. But I just think it's like it's a strange thing. Like, if you were to go bald, would you consider a hair transplant, or do you think it's strange?
I can see why some people do it, but I think I'd probably just embrace it.
Yeah, like,
less
I mean,
hassle.
These guys, like, some people are having hair transplants look worse than like Elton John has just for years. Like, Elton John's got yes, his haircut's the same as Arlene Foster's, but it looks good.
But if you went, I think it probably depends when you go bald.
Yeah.
If you go bald quite young, you might want to give it another chance. But if you're older, then you're probably like, fuck it.
But I still think like it is like a very much a black market thing. Like, I think it's just fake. It's fake. It's like, if you go bald or you don't go bald. You know what I mean? I don't think it's something that can return. I think you can do it for a while, but ultimately you'll go bald again. You know what I mean? And there you have it. But what I want to say is, any listeners that are bald and have had hair transplants or had like a wig stuck to their head with glue, PVA or otherwise, please let us know. Show me a photo if you're looking sweet.
Or any sponsors out there.
Yeah, or
transplants, give us a shout.
Or any sponsors that want me to come back next week with like just a full mane. Get in touch. That'd be really funny. Just like me, like, see fucking guys get these wigs and all these hair transplants, they look stupid. And then I come back being like, listen, if you want to visit the Cosmetic Istanbul Clinic, get in touch with the podcast for 50. Get the front part of your hair free. If you're Sadio Mane, get in touch with the podcast. Get the front bit of your hair free using the code SLYBALD at the IstanbulClinic.com. Speaking of Istanbul Clinic and hair, I went to the Istanbul Turkish barbers at the weekend, which was the first time I have gone to a Turkish barber. And would you believe the barber himself was not Turkish? Guess where the barber was from?
Probably somewhere in Bangor.
No, he was from Iraq, mate. Come on. Come on, jeez. Yeah. Where's he from? Bangor? No, the guy's from Iraq. And it was a strange one, because like I had said to him, it was the first time I'd been, because like, so I'll explain it. I walked in I tried to find a barber's to go to because my own personal stylist was unavailable because his wife went and got COVID, selfish. So he had to isolate. Now, it's why I could have just waited till he was better. I got my hair cut. I just spat all over myself. Gross. Hopefully that wasn't picked up. Cold and germs. But I could have just waited. Now, I just want to point out, it is my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so I needed to have a trim. You know, I needed to get the hair trimmed. Not just on the head, if you know what I'm saying. I need to get the Prince Albert brassoed. I needed to get ready to go. But he was like, yeah, I can't fit you in for a haircut. He's like, listen, I could do the cut on Tuesday in the evening. And I was like, it's the middle of my anniversary. I will have things to be doing in the evening. So he was like, well, there's nothing. Basically, he was like, well, I'll tell you what you can do. Kind of, I don't give a fuck. I'm off. Like, you can go sort yourself out. You fucking full-grown adult man. Go somewhere else. So he recommended me a barbershop to go to. And then I went to it, and it was just shut at like 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon because these guys just wanted to chill, which is fair. So I ended up just walking the high street of Bangor and found this place, which just said Istanbul Turkish Barbers, and it looked very simple. It looked very, it just looked like a barbershop with just 2 Turkish guys in it, well, Iraqi dudes, and they were just minding their own business. And I went in and was like, can you cut my hair? One guy was just like, up to the other guy. Which, I mean, that's another thing that's rude in our culture, but in other cultures, just common. Yeah, fucking yeah. And the other guy was vaping, and like it looked like he was playing solitaire on his phone, so he's just vaping, playing solitaire. And he was like, cut the guy's hair, and I said, nice. Went down, and I was chatting to him, I was like, you know, making the old chat, I was like, well, this is the first time I've been to Turkish barbers, you know, it's nice to have an authentic Turkish barber here. And he's like, I'm from Iraq. And I went, well, what was it about? I mean, I didn't say this, but it would be a funny phrase. What is it about the Turkish barbering lifestyle that lured you in? Now, very much in this barbershop, you know, when you go to places for the first time, you take in the surroundings. Like, I think there was, on the wall, there was maybe like 8, there was a travel agents a couple of doors down, and I think these guys just went to travel agent and be like, Turkey, do you have Turkey book? And then the travel agent's been like, yeah, we do. I want a Turkey book. And it's like, well, what would you like for the holiday? I don't want holiday, I want a picture. So then they take the book and just go back in the Turkish barbershop, and they've literally just pulled pages out of this travel catalogue and just stuck it up on the walls, right? So that was about as Turkish as gone inside. Now, also they had, like, you know, every single barbershop has that, like, big cylinder of, like, blue liquid that, you know, the artist, Damien Hirst, just kept the shark in. They just keep, like, a comb and a pair of scissors in it, and then he just had, you know, like I think it might have actually been the lawnmower 3.0, not 4.0, just sitting there. And then I just sat down in a chair, and the guy was just like, what do you want? And I went, 2 at the sides and just trim the top. And he went, okay. And he took a big vape, started, and he just literally went side, took off my mask, popped it on, took off, and then again, for whatever reason, just took loads of water spray, sprayed it all around my head, and then just went. And literally, if I'd have timed it, 2 minutes and 19 seconds it took for to do the whole haircut. And then what I did like about it when he finished, like, this is his facial expression the whole way through. Finishes, he goes, boom, boom, now you're ready for good times. And I went, all right. You know, in my head, I was like, you know, like some other barbers, you get to, like, play pool or have a beer, maybe play FIFA or something. I was like, I wonder what these guys have planned. But it was literally just that I could go home and have a good time. But my hair was soaking. I was like, can I pay by card? And he was like, no, just cash. And I was like, all right. I just have my mobile phone because it's 2021. So I had to actually drive home to get money from my 3-year-old's piggy bank and go back to pay the Iraqi Turkish barber. And that was it. So afterwards, I did. Do you know much about Turkish barbers, Ben? Have you ever been to a Turkish barber yourself?
No, but next door at work is a Kurdish barber.
Kurdish. Nice. What's it out there? Like, where are the Kurds from?
No idea.
Kurdish. I mean, I feel like this could get very racist very quickly. But I feel like Kurdish is like a race of people over a large area.
I'm firmly staying out of this discussion.
Yeah, I mean, Kurds or Kurdish people are, it's more than just one area. They're an Iranian ethnic group native to the mountainous region of Kurdistan, Western Asia, which spans southern Turkey Iran, Iraq, southern Syria. Oh, Mr. Worldwide strikes. What? What about that for some knowledge? So yeah, Kurdish barbers. In fact, maybe they should change the Istanbul Turkish barber to the Kurdish barber.
Then it would work.
Yeah, because then it would work because they are Iraqi guys. But I just found it really weird, because you go home, you overthink things. You're like, because one thing that's always stuck in my mind, similar to this. Now again, this is meant with honest love and affection from my heart. But I always thought there are certain other nationalities that are associated with certain things. For example, an American car wash. That's a big thing over here. Come to an American car wash. I'm like, what is an American car wash? Turns out an American car wash is a dream of a young Romanian man growing up in the streets of Bucharest. Just wanting to... Is Bucharest even in Romania? I hope so. But then, I don't know what it is about why Romanians want to run American car washes. But hey, that's what they want to do, and that's what they do. The same maybe way as guys from Iraq just want to be Turkish barbers. So then I didn't know what exactly a Turkish barber was. So I went to the time and effort. Then this is why. What is Bucharest, Romania?
It's the capital.
Yes, boom! I am the genius today. But I looked into it and I thought, you know what? Just because something is associated with a country, it doesn't necessarily mean that people do it are from that country. It's maybe just a style of what is used in that country. And then I looked up what the origin of the Turkish barbers were, and do you know what they are, Ben? Do you know what the origins of Turkish barbers are?
I presume being barbers from Turkey.
Correct, but what is it about them that makes them so unique?
That they're from Turkey.
Correct, but you know what the Turkish man used to do?
Cut hair.
Yes. However, throughout sort of our kind of Western culture, we would often consider it to be quite, effeminate to be very into your personal hygiene and you're like going to the barbers and things like that. It wouldn't really be a manly thing you would do.
No.
I found out actually recently that a lot of fellas don't even clean their teeth, and I was disgusted by this. Apparently there's a lot of guys just don't clean their teeth. And it just turns me. It's like, why would you not just clean your teeth? How many times a day would you clean your teeth, roughly?
Twice at least.
Yeah, I would do, and I would say sometimes now more than that, and in between that I would mouthwash as well, just to try to kill the germs. But yeah, apparently, I've known people, not friends of mine, thankfully, they've admitted to, but other people have been like, yeah, but my boyfriend doesn't clean his teeth and stuff. It's weird. Very odd. But in Turkey, apparently they're very into their hygiene, very into their beauty. Turkish baths, their thing. So it's just hot springs, saunas, steam rooms, exfoliating. So apparently to the Turkish man, being well groomed, well coiffured is a very big part of their culture. So you go to back in the days, you go to the Turkish barber, you'd have a very clean shave. So they would do, shaving with knives and stuff. So if you go to a traditional Turkish barber, they have knives and swords and stuff. What are you watching over there, Ben? You look very confused.
I'm just doing further research on these barbers from Turkey, and yeah, they used to also do medical tasks.
Like what?
Taking blood, performing small surgical interventions, cleaning wounds, dressing, extracting lice, and cleaning hair.
I wondered why.
Circumcision.
And
tooth extraction.
I wondered why there was another guy just covered in a bloody apron in the corner. I just thought he was a really shit barber. I don't know what he was at now. But no, apparently, when you do a Turkish shave, they would, put the fucking cream on and all, whip it off with a knife. I'd be too scared to get that shit done. And then, they come at you with fire. If you go to, they burn off the hair of your ears and up your nose and all, and your bum. And it's just the style of it. Whereas I think nowadays, people are maybe just taking the Turkish name and using it in vain.
And they have that thing they put over, in your ears and everything. And the big things.
Oh, the wax?
Whack them out.
Yeah, I mean that's not sweet. I wouldn't like that to happen. One thing I will say, I was given a warning by a man who went to Turkish barbers before, and he goes to me, listen, just watch out about the eyebrows, because see if you go to a real, a proper, an actual trained Turkish barber practicing the traditional historical arts of barbering in Turkey, They would do like the knives, the the smoke and all this shit. Whereas you've just the guy that says he's a Turkish barber and just uses the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. It's different. But like he goes, just be careful, because he was like, they will just take a razor and shave your eyebrows off. Like they'll not trim it. Like I've, believe it or not, never shaved hair in my life or my eyebrows. It's just kind of pretty sweet eyebrows. I'm like the Cara Delevingne of masculine eyebrows, and that's fine. So whenever I went in, the guy who's cut my hair, he goes to me, "Do you want me to take your eyebrows?" And I was like, "Pardon?" He goes, "Your eyebrows, I take them." And I was like, "You mean take them? Like take them down a bit?" And he's like, "Nah, I take them all. I take them off." And that's what he would do, because they just zero all over. And I had a friend who got married, and he gets his head shaved all over. He'd be a one all over kind of guy, and he went to the Turkish barbers. I say there's going to be the Turkish barber, which is like the Salt Bay barbering, or there's a Turkish barber, which is just a guy with a razor. I think that Turkish barber, I took his eyebrows. I collect eyebrows. And he just went for his wedding day, like, Uncle Fester, completely bald, no eyebrows, nothing. It was pretty sly time to do that. So I only went for a wee 2 at the sides rather than my usual 1, so as when my personal stylist's back, he can sort it out. But again, I can only wear my hair, having been to the Turkish barbers, with style and hair product. I can only wear my hair with style. Now, I can only wear it with product in it. See, if it's no product in it, it looks rare, because he's done no fading, nothing. He's just wet it, cut it, and it looks like a wee... I don't know, it looks like, I'm trying to grow these parts to hide baldness, when that's what I want to do. I'm proud of my baldness. But it's not a sweet look, so as long as I'm styled, I'm alright. But yeah, there you go, guys. So if you're ever in Turkey, get the full Turkish experience, go for the Turkish bath, get some Turkish barbering, go for Turkish shaving, get some burnt with some Turkish earwax wood, I don't know, and then eat a Turkish delight, and smoke a shisha, and have some Turkish coffee. And I mean, that would be, I'm all about that. I think that's the lifestyle I want to lead, like, I know a lot of people, like, would you drink much, Ben, like, of a weekend? I don't really know that about you. I know you like a bit of a wine.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink a huge amount, but I would definitely have a drink.
I'm not a drinker anymore. Like, I would actually identify as not drinking. Like, I will have a drink the odd time, no doubt, but it's very, very rare. Like, I don't think I've drank in probably about 2 or 3 months now, really. And, I don't mind doing it. But for me, I'd probably... Like, I could see myself getting involved in a pretty serious Turkish lifestyle. Like, that could be... Like, see, when I go full-time comedian here, I could just be getting into, like, the Turkish way of life. Like, I go get my nails done of a day, go to a Turkish bath, get a haircut, maybe go and sit outside, enjoy a nice sweet Turkish coffee, have a chat, do a bit of smoking with some Turkish friends. That could be a lifestyle I would really enjoy to live. I like cafe lifestyle. Sit in a cafe with just guys, just community. Just not community. I wouldn't like that, the fucking community guys, but just a community of guys. Like, I saw this place, I think I've said it before, and this is not a sponsor, but it's called the Sahara something. Maybe Sahara Shisha Lounge. It's on Botanic in Belfast. And I saw, like, after I did Lavery's Comedy Club one night, myself and Colin, our mate we're just walking past, and at probably 11 o'clock at night was just this one little cafe open, the Sahara Shisha Lounge, just with a load of, like, North African guys just sitting out the front, smoking shishas, drinking coffee, cigars, just playing chess, having a great time. And there's guys in there making up kebabs, other wee coffees, wee drinks. They got wee cold. I mean, it just looked like a vibe. I see a place, you go, that's my kind of vibe. That's it. I think now that I'm at the age I'm at, that's what I like to do. Sit in peace, maybe play a bit of chess with some other guys, and go, Like, has there ever been anything that you have seen and you've gone, I'd like to be a part of that?
No, but that does sound very inviting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we get in touch with them and do a podcast there someday, play a wee game of chess. I'll tell you 2 other things that I've seen in my life that I've gone, I'd like to be a part of that community. One was the day I moved to my house in Bangor. I just went, no, I'm home. No, we went for a walk. Holly was only really young at the time, like maybe a couple of months. And whenever we moved the house, she just woke up super early, like 4:30 in the morning. So we got up, gave her a feed, and then by the time she sort of settled, it was about 6 in the morning. And I was just going to take her out for a walk. I said to Catherine, I was like, she was asleep. And I don't know why, because normally this would be asking to be smacked in the face. I woke her up at 6 in the morning and was like, would you like to go for a wee walk with us? And normally she'd go, would you ever just fuck off? But she went, yeah, because we just moved house. That sounds really nice. I will. So she threw on her. I threw on me, headed on out with the pram, walked down along to Ballyhome Beach, and just there at like 6:30 on a Saturday morning, a load of just dads playing football on the beach. And I remember looking at it like, you know, when you like a wee dog, you're like, oh well, can I play?
The ball. They kick the ball along, kind of bounces over to you, and you're like, this is my moment.
And I thought I want to be part of this dad crew, and I still haven't built up the courage like 3 years later to actually get down and join in, but that's something I'd like to join in on. The other time that I've been like, I could see myself doing this and enjoying this as a hobby was I was in Budapest, and I was in a place called the Szczesny Baths, which is just like an outdoor thermal bath, and it's just an old man in the bath with another old man playing chess whilst drinking shots of Unicum, and I thought, hey, this is a fun way to pass the time. Just in the middle of fucking November, freezing cold. These are in the hot baths, play chess. I thought that's the kind of socialising that I like to do. You know, just a casual bit of drinking, even a coffee would do me, in the bath with your mate, you know, by the sea with the boys, or just outside the Sahara Shisha Cafe. What a place. And by the way, any listeners that have ever been, please let me know how it goes. Or if you walk past it, get a photo, take a selfie, send it to me. I'd be keen to see it. And yeah, big fan of that. Yeah, Ben, how long have we been talking for? I feel like we've gone way over what we thought just about the Turkish.
Yeah, about 35 minutes, just over.
You know what? I was going to talk about the news today, but go to the BBC website, guys. Don't come here for your news. What else do you want to talk about? Yes, we'll do the sponsor read first, shall we? We're delighted to say that the Sly Guy Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Bebe Adrianos once again. And this time, with Bebe Adrianos, comes the Phat Bastrd Burger, a new burger, Wagyu burger bar. Not just a regular burger bar, a Wagyu burger bar. Which, you know what Wagyu beef is, Ben? It is just the best beef. It is the most sought after, delicious beef that there is going. And believe it or not, Phat Bastrd Burgers, they're big, they're fat, and they're bastard burgers. Some of the burgers on the menu are some of the most inventive names. You thought the Dirty Cock and Cow box was a wee bit risque. Some of these names, the Crazy for Cock burger, I'll not say that in case I get cancelled burger, the Phat Bastrd burger, the Porky Phat Bastrd burger, the Fat as Fuck Duck, and the Cheesy Phat Bastard. Which, I mean, all could be nicknames that I had whilst I was at school. But all these burgers look absolutely amazing. And as you can see from the photos in the background. So it's great to have Bebe Adrianos, a Phat Bastrd Burger, back on board supporting the podcast. And as well, with the end of Halloween passing, people are starting to get into Christmas spirit. I don't like that. But what I do like is the return of the Bebe Adrianos Christmas wrap, which is the most delicious ham, turkey, cranberry, stuffing, all in a wrap just for you. And that's now available at Bebe Adrianos, as are all Phat Bastrd Burgers, which, by the way, I've sold out in the first 2 days that they've been open. So if you want to get involved, download the Phat Bastrd Burger app, get the Bebe Adrianos app, order through that, get yourself 10 to 20% off your first orders. Or if you want to just be traditional and get back in touch, call 02891 479988 and say you heard about it on the Sly Guy Podcast, and Fraser and the boys will sort you out. Delighted to have them back on board. Just do a wee cut there and then I'll go on to the next one, alright? The Sly Guy Podcast is also brought to you in association with Modest Beer. As we all know, Modest used to be a fairly modest beer company brewed here in Hollywood, County Down. Not anymore. They've new premises. They're ramping it up, and they're tramping it up, and they're whipping out some new beers on a mass scale. So Modest is increasing. We're expanding. We're just together. We're going to the top, and by top I mean we're just going to get real hammered. But if you want to know more about Modest Beer, get them on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Modest Beer, or go to their website www.modestbeer.co.uk to find your nearest stockist. And if you want to rate and review the podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts. We've got a new review this week from the Not So Sly Guy, which sounds like my arch enemy if I was in the Marvel Universe. And the Not So Sly Guy said, that this podcast is just good out and out crack. I mean, say it as you said, and they've said that I'm just a funny big lad with top class bant, and look forward to the weekly shows. Keep up the good work, Papa. Thank you, I appreciate it. I also appreciate all the questions that we've got coming in. There's a lot this week, so again, since I'm keeping Ben back from his bed, and I need to get back to my bed, need some lamb-sip, I need some manscaping time, I need to get to bed to get prepared for my anniversary tomorrow, if you know what I mean. So, Jamie has asked me, what is the best prank you've ever pulled? I genuinely know the best prank. I used to work with a woman who, without being offensive, was racist. She just didn't like anybody who wasn't a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So I, for a bit of crack one day, thought I would phone her and I put on a different accent to my normal accent, and I managed to complain to her about the state of my house, and I kept referring to her as Mr., which she didn't like, and eventually I said lots of things to her that made her really annoyed, and she went and made a complaint to the manager about this particular individual who was a tenant, and the manager's about to phone the tenant and be like, what's the problem here, until I had to intercept and be like, that was actually me. I fabricated the whole thing just so I could sit at the other end of the office and watch down as she was getting really wound up. And I tell you what, myself and my colleagues had a great time watching that moment, and that was the best prank I pulled. Probably would have been better if I'd just let the manager ring the person, you know, that would have been a lot more drama. They'd be like, oh, I didn't phone up, and be like, no, you did, absolutely did, but no. And I would have had to come clean. Phyllis said, saw an article a while ago discussing the possibility of NI granting city status to another town, with Bangor being one of the front runners. As a super cool Bangor based guy yourself, as a super cool Bangor based guy, am I a super cool Bangor based guy, Ben, or am I the fucking king of North Down?
King of North
I'm the king of North Down. I'm not just a super cool Bangor based guy. Would I agree with it being city level? Yes. And all I'm going to say, coincidental that Bangor, yes, dilapidated, yes, needing a regeneration of the seafront, not a doubt about it. But is it a coincidence that I moved to Bangor 3 years ago, 3 years later, city status? Don't think so. So what I think is it deserves a city status. Is it the size of a city? No. Does it deserve the money of a city? Yes. And with that money, should I be the one to divvy out the money? Yes. And what would the first thing I do if I got that money? Go to Turkey, get a hair transplant, and get a Turkish wash and a shave and whatever else those Turkish guys love to do. But yeah, absolutely. And the only reason about it, like, people are like, Bangor's not big enough to be a city and blah, blah, blah. But I think, you know what, the money that comes with city status, I'm happy to have it. You know, I think that'll be good. Regenerate the seafront, put a bit more money into the town, bit of pride fucking back in Bangor. Don't know if that's the symbol for Bangor pride, but we love it. I tell you what, Ben, you know what? Because we're so proud of Bangor, we're going to get a float in Bangor Pride this year. You and me, down the seafront, on a float, Bangor Pride, Sly Guy Podcast. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And Sharon has said, is the 1st of November the day to put up your Christmas tree, or can people just fuck off? I'm going to say, with quite a resounding feeling in my heart, yeah, people can fuck off. What's your thoughts on that, Ben? When's the time for you to start Christmas?
1st of December.
Yeah, I like to do that too, but then my wife, she likes to just not be normal, so it's like, we'll do it a bit later, but I've always been, for me, the 1st of December kind of guy from a Christmas tree. So I just think, I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I think, is this just me getting old and paranoid? But do you think that, like, as you get older, you notice things are getting more ridiculous? Like, Halloween's much more, like, commercialised than it was in my day.
Yeah, I think you'll see when going to Tesco's,
yeah,
Christmas stuff is up before the Halloween stuff comes up.
Yeah, now what I will say is, Cadbury's make these tasty little, like, snowball sweets that only come out at Christmas, and they're potentially my favourite sweet. You know, they're white on the outside and black in the inside, like me. You know, that's how I feel an awful lot. You know, I'm a man who, although I've been put on earth with this white privilege, which I didn't ask for, I didn't consent to being white, I must say, but inside I am every colour of every person on this earth, because I judge people by the content of their character, not by the colour of their skin. So, say what you want about that, but that's the honest truth. And Dinesh has asked a question. Of course, Dinesh is Irish for Din. Said, thoughts on people who drive... Fucking Dinesh, you've got me going here. Thoughts on people who drive up a free lane and indicate to merge into a busy one at the last minute. Honestly, I hate that. I hate that an awful lot. And you know what? We're in the middle of questions, but we should probably just slip into the Sly Dig, because I've been asked a similar question this week. And you know what? I feel like car-based anger is what's really driving me this week. I myself, Big Davey, have found something that I would bring up to the Sly Dig this week. And you know what that is, Ben? People who don't indicate a roundabouts. That is something that, for whatever reason, just makes me blood red mad. And I was actually not going to even read the Sly Dig there, but all of a sudden there's fucking 8 suggestions in it, so we'll go through them, the best ones that we can. Yeah, so Daniel has said, when bastards don't thank you when they let them out of the junction, gives me road rage. So yes, people sliding up the outside lanes, cutting in last minute, when they, you know what the worst is, Ben? See when they know that the road ends. They know it does, but they're sneaking in there. You should be allowed to hit them. You should be allowed to rear end them, crash into the side of them, whatever. I actually think you should be able to follow them home and kick the shit out of them. I think that's what you... And if they don't acknowledge it or they don't indicate it roundabouts, you should be able to take them home, get the hatchet that you keep in your boot out, and fucking destroy their car. Not kill them, because that's a bit drastic, but just, you know, slash the tires, smash the windscreen, knock the handles off, whatever. Let me see. Oh, Chloe has made a fair point here. She said, people who constantly asking you about having your Christmas shopping done, then bragging how they've it all done, even though it's November. Yeah, that's a weird bit of hustle there, isn't it? Like, I don't know what people are trying to do. Like, it's a strange flex, isn't it, to be like, here, I've all my Christmas shopping done. You know, it's a phrase that's because of wokeness really gone out of fashion. Do you want a medal? Like, I've got all my Christmas shopping done. I'm like, yeah, because you're a tramp. Like, who? Well, what happens? Say, for example, you buy your kids a present. Now, I get into trouble with my wife about this last year because she is Ebenezer bitch. You know, she just, the kids have too much. Whereas I see something, I'm like, my kids would like that. To be fair, she has kept a lot of stuff back from the kids, and it's just in a box in our garage, and she's would intermittently give them to them over the year, because apparently I bought them too much stuff. Like, why do they need Paw Patrol plasters? They might hurt themselves, and they might need Sky to fly to their rescue. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it's a weird flex for people to boast and be like, I've oh my, like, and do you find the older you've got, the more you respond to things like this? Just like, and
yes,
yeah, like, or like, how do you react to that? I've got all my Christmas. Oh, have you? Well done. Aren't you the best? What a parent. Wow, what'd you buy them? And then they're like, we got them some crayons. Oh, no one wants crayons. You fucking crayon. I hate it. You know, I got my Christmas present? Yes. Now, it's different for me this year because I'm going to be a full-time comedian from the 10th of December, so I need to buy as much as I can now before I ain't got no money. Yeah, J-Red said, people who complain about hospital food, it's free, it fills the hole, suck it up, buttercup. You know what? I do think, you know, you're going into hospital for medical care. You're not going in to get a meal. Go in the hospital, just say, give me bread and butter and gruel.
Who did a show about that?
What?
Improving hospital food. Probably
Jamie Oliver, was it? It's kind of Jamie Oliver's vibe, isn't it? Going in, just improving the quality of food. Which, to be fair, as long as it's nutritional, that's all you really need. But yeah, I do think it's a bit of entitlement, really, isn't it? Is it Jamie Oliver's hospital food? He loves to stick his oar into everything, doesn't he? The interfering prick. I'd rather be Gordon Ramsay. Hey, big boy. Did you have surgery? I don't give a fuck. Eat it.
It's like 10 years ago he did it.
Yeah.
He went down to try and make it better and make it more healthy for people.
Yeah, and you know what else he tried to do? Get rid of chicken Twizzlers, and guess what? They're back. Like Michael Myers. You're never going to stop the working class and their Twizzlers. Absolutely not. Lee's having a bad week. Lee's come in with two suggestions this week. First off, people who always try and one-up you. For example, you tell them you've got a cold, they'll have a flu. You tell them you have a headache, you have a migraine. Yeah, those people are kind of irritating. But what you know how you mug those people off? See, the people are always like, well, I've got this, got that. You know what you need to say? I've got 3 days to live. Then they'll be like, I guess I'm just going to have to kill myself now then, aren't I? And that's how you get rid of them. Be like, I'm going to die tomorrow. And they'll be like, well, just fork to the neck. And since we're on Lee, this one has been pointed. I just want to ask Lee, are you a man or are you a woman or are you not? Because the name Lee could be both male or female. So I'm just curious to know, Lee, are you a man Lee or a female Lee? I'm going to guess from the fact that you've got a mother-in-law, probably no. I mean, I was going to say, because mostly it's fellas who complain about their mother-in-law, isn't it? Mostly. Isn't it? The old buddy mother-in-law, fuck's sake. So what Leah said, mother-in-laws who constantly look for the negative in everything, too specific. I think that's just their vibe, isn't it? And I think whenever you get to the age where you are a mother-in-law, you know, you probably have earned, you've earned to be better. So I think that's something you just got to have to let go, Lee. And then always know that if you look after yourself and, you know, take care of yourself the right way, that the mother-in-law will die first. And then you can be the victor. But what I do want to ask too is your mother-in-law the person that tries to one-up you all the time? And if it is so, just be like, I'm going to die tomorrow. And then boom, 2 birds, 1 stone. Daniel, yeah, we've spoken about Daniel when you don't give him out of the fucking road race. John, the last slight dig this week is a badly poured pint of Guinness. I mean, that's something you can't get annoyed about, because to me that's inexcusable. You know, you can absolutely not pour a Guinness badly. You cannot. That's seeing my kingdom. That's an off of their head job. If you pour a bad pint of Guinness, I'm sorry. You know what you should do? It's the only time I think I would go back to a customer or like to a server as a customer and be like, sort out your fucking life, and I would throw it at them. And in fact, I'd pour the Guinness on the bar, like across the bar, you know, over the wee mats and all, and over the taps, so it's dripping and all, it's sticky. And then I would go, come here, glass them right in the face. And then I go, get somebody that's better at their job to pour me a pint of Guinness. All right. Oh wow, that slight dig just slipped out of nowhere. Where are we? Yes, that's come from Dinesh. So by the way, thank you, Dinesh. That was a great question. Rebecca said, opinions on the common cold. Hey, my opinion is the common cold can suck my dick, and I'm just going to be. Is that a gross sound in the mic? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Again, can't smell it. Who cares? My opinions on the common cold, I hate it. And you know what the worst thing is? There's different. Here's another thing about living with a nurse. They drop you with truth bombs. Apparently, there's different types of colds you can get. So I got one cold off one daughter from her nursery, and another off the other. In the 2 weeks, so just the 2 weeks having a cold, and I don't like it. Man flu is real. The suffering is real. Leah said, and it's a different Lee, any advice for surviving the night out after your gig being on Black Eye Friday? Yeah, get the digs in first. And you know what a move I always got taught was, you know, people go to martial arts classes, MMA classes, self-defense classes. You know what the one trick you need to know how to fight in the night out? Get a pint, throw your pint up in the air. So you know what I mean? So you get a pint, you go throw it up in the air, the other person will look at the pint up in the air, knock them out. So you throw the pint, bam, and then that's how you survive Black Eye Friday. And by the way, see if you're coming to my show at the Ulster Hall, which by the way, tickets are really, they're starting to go, and I'm starting to get excited. Like, Ben, could you remember we were talking about getting the dick scale up? Ben and I have devised this new scoring system called the dick scale. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a photo of my dick, right? It's going to be all floppy, and then like it's different levels. We'll get excited. We'll just, you know, like they do with mushrooms and like David Attenborough shows at the start, where it like goes from being a wee, this is a mushroom in the morning, and it's like, and by the evening the mushroom is fully grown. So we're just going to have like my willy in stop motion, and it'll just be like at different levels to full erection, and then like the dick scale, if it's bad, it's totally floppy. If it's alright, like medium, and if it's great, it's ring. So what I would say would be like the people coming to my show will be all raised on the dick scale, so you don't need to worry about it. You know, they're all going to be good people, out for a good time, enjoying a good show, which, by the way, wrote some new bits this week, and they're my best bits, so I'm very excited about the show. Speaking of the show, Liam said, any Dublin dates in the works, Brewer? Quite possibly. We're sorting a wee bit of a mini tour, not anywhere near Belfast. I don't think you're going to get tickets other than the Ulster Hall, but yes, Dublin is potentially in the mix. The original TP says, if you're at hip hop karaoke, what song are you singing? Ghetto Gospel, Elton John and Tupac. JJ has said, what's the better save, Ramsdale or Seaman in the FA Cup. Ramsdale's save was smashing, but it was from a set piece, whereas Seaman's was a header a wee bit more. I would give it to Seaman. I think Seaman's, you know the save from Pescasolido, Pen? Seaman in the FA Cup? Do you remember? It was like the ball. Go on YouTube now, type in Seaman FA Cup semi-final save. And I think, given that it was the FA Cup semi-final, I think there was more on the line for it. So Seaman's, I think it's the best save ever. Get on the mic and watch it. And let's get a live reaction and put the video up here of Seaman's save.
Okay. Against Sheffield United.
Yep.
At Old Trafford.
Yep.
Right. Cross coming in. Oh, okay. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Good save.
Good strength.
Good save. Reaches back. But you see Ramsdale's save at the weekend?
No, but I heard it was very, very, very good.
Get Ramsdale save on. We want the Ben reaction. This is a new segment. We're in the middle of the Ben reaction. And you just react to them all. So you get Ramsdale save up in the corner as well, can't you, for people to enjoy?
Against Leicester?
Yep.
Okay. So free kick, fairly central. Not quite as good as
Seaman,
but
a good save.
But
very
good
save. And the last, speaking of football, I'm going to keep it on football. Naomi's asked me, what's the most bizarre historical event you can't believe actually took place? Even to this day, I can't believe Zinedine Zidane headbutted Marco Materazzi the way he did. I just can't. It makes no sense. It's totally irrational. The man's last ever game, World Cup final, headbutts him like a dinosaur. You know, and again, Naomi, if you'd hit me with that question and I'd had a bit more time, I probably would look something up. But listen, that's the end of the podcast. I feel like we've got through it. I haven't been well today. I want everybody to share the podcast in your Instagram stories because I want you all to, show me love because I feel so sick and I want to just feel better about myself. But guys, listen, thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for watching the podcast. Love you guys.
I'm the Sly Guy.